All right, guys. So we have some crazy DCU news. Clayface situation is crazy. YouTube title, I guess. I don't know. Are those YouTube titles even actually effective? I don't even know. Yeah. So apparently there's a Clayface movie coming. Apparently it's in the DCU. Whoa. Let's get into it. All right. So let's read this Deadline article here. DC Studios dates Clayface for fall 2026, animated dynamic duo for 2028. Jesus Christ, I don't want to I don't want to think about the year 2028. Why? Why? Stop. Please. uh okay, signs that Warner Brothers DC Studios is very serious about its standalone Clayface movie even though it doesn't have a director or star yet. Okay, so this is actually kind of interesting right off the bat. James Gunn has said that if somebody plays somebody in animation, then they would play him in live action, or they would play the character in live action, at least ideally. I mean, Alan Tudyk is voicing Clayface in Creature Commandos. Alan Tudyk actually confirmed this, by the way. So you would think that if they're going to make a DCU Clayface movie, then it would be Alan Tudyk voicing him. Would it not be? I'm just saying, like, you would think that you'd want him to play Clayface because that would be great. I feel like it would be great in the role. And I feel like he would want to do it as well. So, well, yeah, it's interesting that they're saying they don't have a star yet. It also might just be because I know that James Gunn, like, he has sort of the mentality of, like, until they have, like, a script or whatever, then they don't cast until they're actually finished with the script and they're ready. So that might be a thing about it. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I don't know. My guess is that they are going to get Alan Tudyk to play him in live action as well. The studio is given the movie. Wait, what? Signs that Warner Brothers DC Studios is very serious about its standalone Clayface movie, even though it doesn't have a director or star yet. The studio is given the movie. I don't understand how this sentence works, but you know what? We're just going to roll with it. The studio is given the movie written by Mike Flanagan. A September 11th, 2026 theatrical release. So yeah, it's interesting, right? So there were rumors that Mike Flanagan would be doing a Clayface movie. Like those rumors have existed, but apparently he's writing it, but as of yet he's not set to direct it. I mean, if we recall, there was a period of time where they were like, we don't know who's going to be directing Superman Legacy. I don't know. James Gunn was like, I don't know. And then they confirmed that he was going to direct the movie. And now he's directed it, right? It's in post-production. So I think Mike Flanagan will direct it. That's my prediction as well. I think that they're playing coy. And by the way, if you don't know Mike Flanagan, he's like the guy that made like The Haunting of Hill House and Midnight Mass. He directed Doctor Sleep as well. So he's kind of like the it guy when it comes to horror movies. So the fact that James Gunn has gotten him to work in the DCU is a massive deal, actually. That's the famed post-Labor Day goldmine weekend for Warner Brothers with such movies as the It, The Nun, and Beetlejuice franchises. Producing is DC co-bosses James Gunn and Peter Safran, as well as the Batman filmmaker Matt Reeves and Lynn Harris. Oh, that's interesting. Matt Reeves is involved. Executive producer is Chantel Nong. Dr. Sleep filmmaker Flanagan is reportedly conceiving Clayface as a horror thriller tragedy. He won't be painted as a villain, which has been his reputation, notoriously a villain to Batman. Don't know how I feel about this. I mean, the horror thriller tragedy, sure. I mean, when I hear that last bit there where it says he won't be painted as a villain, that reminds me of the Sony Marvel movies where they keep on making fucking Morbius and Craven movies, but they're like, but they're not villains. Craven is actually the hero of the story. And, at the end of the day, are those the reasons why those movies are bad? No. Like, those are just awful movies on their own. But, like, a way to make them more interesting, to be honest, would be to just have them be villains, right? Like, if they had just made a Morbius movie where it was just a vampire slasher film, that would have been way more interesting than what we got, you know? So I will say, though, I suspect that Mike Flanagan's take on Clayface being a more tragic character, I think that will be a lot more interesting than anything that Sony that Sony's done with their Spider-Man villain movies, just to be clear. But reading that makes me think of the Sony Spider-Man movies. Clayface got his DC introduction as part of DC Comics number 40 in June of 1940. The original Clayface was a moderately successful actor who adopted the identity of a character he'd portray in a horror pic after turning to crime. Clayface has a body seemingly made out of clay and has appeared over the years in various films, television series, animated works, video games, and other forms of media. So yeah, and it's kind of interesting as well because there's also the rumors of Clayface being in like the Batman Part 2. And there were the rumors of Clayface being portrayed as like kind of I think this description that they describe here, right, in his initial introduction in Detective Comics number 40, I actually, from what I understand, I don't think he was a clay monster. I think he was just a guy that would like wear masks to like change his identity and stuff. And there were rumors that that's how Matt Reeves was gonna portray him in the Batman. So I wonder if that's maybe out the window now that they're doing it as a standalone movie in the DCU. I don't know. I mean, to be fair, like they could have a Clayface standalone DCU movie, and then Matt Reeves does his grounded version, realistic version, in his Batman universe. I guess that's possible. And then they also bring up Dynamic Duo. Also hitting the schedule is DC Studios and Warner Brothers Pictures Animation's original project, Dynamic Duo, on June 30th, 2028, in IMAX, which we first told you about. It's the origin story of the Robins, aka Dick Grayson and Jason Todd, and marks the first joint project between DC Studios and Bill DeMaschke-led WPA. That movie is directed by Arthur Mintz, okay, and written by Matthew Aldrich. Producers are Theresa Anderson, Reeves, and Harris. Yeah, Matt Reeves is like... I honestly think the fact that Matt Reeves is like so involved in DC Studios is cool. It means that he has a good relationship with James Gunn, and that James Gunn is probably not going to be messing with his like Batman verse at all, right? With Robert Pattinson and stuff. Meanwhile, in other DC news, the trailer to James Gunn's Superman is dropping early next week. Whoa, okay. So you're saying like Monday or Tuesday? Huh. That movie happens in theaters next year on July 11th. Other DC Studios holds on the calendar include May 29th, 2026 for an untitled movie, June 26th, 2026 for Craig Gillespie's Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, October 2nd, 2026 for Reeves' The Batman 2, and March 5th, 2027 for an untitled movie. Jesus, okay, so many dates. So this is interesting, right? So we're getting, presumably, on September 11th, 2026, there's going to be a Clayface movie in the DCU, and then on October 2nd, 2026, we would be looking at a Matt Reeves The Batman Part 2, which is not in the DCU. Interesting. I mean, listen, I think that obviously the whole goal with this DC Studios thing is that audiences understand that uh there's Elseworld stuff and then there's mainline DCU continuity. I guess they're just banking on the fact that by that point general audiences will understand that concept and they're not going to be like, is the Clayface, is he gonna be in the Batman Part 2 or blah 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 blah? Like, I guess they're banking on the idea that audiences won't be confused by that. But I don't know, man. Those are very close together. I'm gonna be honest. Um, would they move Batman? I don't know, but I don't know. Maybe it works out. We'll see. We'll see. That's honestly like the one kind of like really weird part. To be honest with you, the other weird part about all of this is the fact that we're gonna be presumably getting a Clayface movie before the Brave and the Bold. Like, we're getting Clayface before the actual DCU Batman movie. That's the other side of this that's kind of bizarre. But I mean, listen, all of this is just kind of it's James Gunn keeping to his word, where his like way of filmmaking. This is what he's described it as, and it seems like that's what it is he's going to let his creatives write their scripts and, develop their projects. And once they deliver scripts that James Gunn thinks is good, then they'll go into production. So it's, James Gunn has said that in interviews recently that the Brave and the Bold scripts are not ready yet. He said that the Waller scripts are not ready yet, right? Those are projects that he announced back when he did his initial slate. However, on the other hand, they delivered the Supergirl script and James Gunn likes it. So they're going into production on the movie, right? They delivered the Lantern scripts. James Gunn likes them. So they're going into production on that movie. My guess is that maybe Mike Flanagan, maybe he did actually turn in those scripts. And I know I was kind of speculating earlier that whether he did or didn't, but maybe it is the case that Mike Flanagan turned in his Clayface scripts and James Gunn was like, yeah, this is great. You're Mike Flanagan. Obviously, it's great. Let's make it. That kind of seems like what's going on here. So it's all very, very interesting. And then, yeah, James Gunn confirmed it on Twitter. Exciting news out of DC official studios today as Clayface, a DCU story. Yeah, so James Gunn confirming it's in the DCU. Story from a script by Mike Flanagan has been officially greenlit. I see. So what that means is that so greenlit means that the script is done. So yeah, the script is done. Yeah, honestly, I think I'm going to say this. This is my prediction. I think that when they say that they don't have a star yet, a director or a star yet, I think Deadline is wrong. Yes, some shittery YouTuber, am saying that Deadline is wrong. I think Alan Tudyk is going to play Clayface. It might not be officially, like, they might not have officially signed the paperwork yet. They might not have like made it official or anything. But if Alan Tudyk is voicing Clayface in Creature Commandos, why wouldn't you get Alan Tudyk to play him in live action? So that is my official prediction here. But yeah, man, a lot of stuff going on in DC. Let me know what you think. Like, are you sitting there like, how are they doing a Clayface movie before a Batman movie? Is that something that upsets you at all? Do you think audiences are going to be confused with a Clayface movie coming out so close to the Batman Part 2? We'll see. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.